Uh, and it's perhaps an overused metaphor, but it really is like your children. You know, at some point, your sons and daughters will go to college, and you need to let go. This doesn't mean you disown them, but you need to let go. You need to let the person in charge of Apple stores really do Apple stores, and the people who are in charge of, various functional groups of your company, you need to let go. Well, for one thing, it's a very practical reason, is if you are succeeding, you cannot possibly handle everything. Another practical reason is that if you truly hired A-plus players do not want to be constantly micromanaged. And so, almost by definition, if you can micromanage somebody, you probably don't have an A-plus player. That would be a very good test, actually. So, this is one of those cases where it's easier to be the keynote speaker than to be the entrepreneur. Because, as a parent, it is difficult to let go. I have a son who's 18 years old, so he's the senior year, and he's applying to colleges now. And I know it's going to be a very, very difficult moment for my wife and I to let him go. Although we still have to pay tuition for 4 years, but it's going to be a very challenging moment. So you just have to understand that is something that's going to come down the road, and it's going to happen, just like parenting. What else? Sorry.
Just a little bit more on the same point. It looks like you left a puzzle in your ABC analysis. So who hires B players? A guys hire A plus.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, by definition, who would hire? I know who hires B players. Boards of directors. Really. Which is code word for VCs. What else? Yes.
Go ahead. I love the concept of jumping curves, and I also like the fact that when you go into talks to somebody about capitalization and you emphasize the uniqueness and value, they go, well, how many of these have been sold in the market thus far to justify your financial pro forma?
Yeah.
How do you respond to that when you're really trying to set a new tone, come out with a new product?
When you encounter that kind of response, I would say one of two conditions exist. One is it's a clueless venture capitalist, or that person is essentially telling you no. So basically, when you deal with venture capitalists, there's only one response that is yes. And the one response is, let's start due diligence. That's a yes. Everything else is no. If they say, when you get a customer, come back to me, that's a no. If they say, when you get a co-investor, come back to me, that's a no. Everything is a no, except we want to start due diligence. That's a yes. So now you might ask, well, why do venture capitalists not say no? Arguably, it's harder to get a venture capitalist to give you a direct no than it is to get a direct yes. And the reason why venture capitalists never say no is because they have the fantasy of maintaining an option on you. This way, the way it works is, if I say, come back to me when you have when you've proven the dogs are eating the food, or come back to me when Kleiner Perkins or Sequoia has taken a lead, I'd be happy to co-invest along Kleiner or Sequoia. Well, duh, who wouldn't want to invest along Kleiner or Sequoia, right? Any idiot would do that. So, I mean, that's kind of the problem, that they cannot say no. They don't want to say no because they don't want in their minds to close down the option. If they say no and you become the next Google, they look like an idiot. So what they have to do is they would tell the founders of Google, if they knew that it was going to be Google, they would tell the founders of Google, well, come back to me when you have a business model for your new search engine. Right? So this way, if they miss Google, they can say to themselves, I didn't miss Google. I told those bozos, Larry and Sergey, to come back to me. They didn't come back to me. It's their fault. So now when I go meet with CalPERS, I'm not going to tell CalPERS I missed Google. I'm going to say, I saw Google. I knew Google was going to be successful. They didn't come back to me. It's their fault, not my fault. I still need $20 million from CalPERS. That's what happens. That's what happens. So if you want to hear a yes, so can I give you some tips about pitching? Okay. So tip number one about pitching is, I'll give you a metaphor. Think of pitching like online dating. Okay? There's two kinds of online dating theories. One is eHarmony. You fill out questionnaires. Do you like long walks on the beach? Do you like white wine or red wine? Do you like opera, classic, or rock? Are you open to adoption? Not open to adoption? You want many kids, few kids? Because according to eHarmony, you're finding your soulmate. You're going to be walking on windswept, sunny beaches, holding hands for the rest of your life. You need a soulmate, right? The opposite end of eHarmony is hot or not. Look at this picture. Is she hot or not? Okay? Guess which one venture capital is? It ain't eHarmony. It's hot or not. In 30 seconds, they're going to decide, are you hot or not? It's that simple. And so, what happens in that 30 seconds? Most people stumble and fumble in 30 seconds. What venture capitalists want to hear in the first 30 seconds is not who the hell you are. Because the odds are, you don't have a proven track record. Because if you had a proven track record, frankly, you wouldn't be raising money. So, what you need to do is, in the first 30 seconds, explain what the hell you do. Really. Because until you explain what the hell you do, it doesn't matter who you are. I have sat in pitches where the first 30 minutes are talking about, you know, my relatives came over on the Mayflower. They settled in Connecticut. They had the first butcher shop in Connecticut. They did extremely well. So my great-grandfather, you know, he went to Connecticut College, and my grandfather went to Yale, and I went to Dartmouth. I went to Dartmouth, and I majored in Oriental art history, but I always wanted to be in technology, so I started taking .NET classes on the side, and I studied all Microsoft, and I'm really proficient in PowerPoint and Excel, and I've always admired what your firm does, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell do you do? And then they say, well, according to Forrester and Jupiter, you know, this is a market of $100 billion, and how hard could it be to conservatively get 1% of this? And I'm still wondering, what do you do? Is it hardware? Is it software? What do you do? What market are you in? In the first 30 seconds, you need to explain what the hell you do, really. Because until you explain what the hell you do, it doesn't matter who you are, really. Because very few people have this kind of background that would just say, oh my God, I have to invest. I'll give you some examples. So, let's say you say, I was the first VP of engineering of Akamai. So I truly understand how to scale something. That would be a competitive advantage. Or I was the VP of engineering of Google. That would be proven engineering. Of course, arguably, if you were the VP of engineering of Google or Akamai, why would you be trying to raise $1 million? Because you're worth $1 billion. Something's wrong with this picture, right? So that's the kind of thing. So, you know, you want to talk about if you feel, okay. Many people believe that venture capitalists are looking for proven teams. If you have, maybe later you're going to have a panel of venture capitalists, are you? Okay. So watch what's going to happen. If the moderator's smart, the moderator is going to say, what do you look for in a team you'd like to invest? And you know what every venture capitalist is going to say? Proven team. Proven team. We invest in people. We invest in people. We want proven people. So all you're going to write that down. They invest in proven people. So you think, oh, I go to the pitch, I have to prove. So that's why you start your pitch with, yeah, we took a lot of .NET classes. I have rock star programmers. I have never met a CEO who did not hire rock star programmers. How come there's so much shitty software out there? I don't know. Everybody hires rock star programmers. Okay? So, you know what? The reason why venture capitalists publicly say we're looking for a proven team is because they're afraid that in the audience is someone who represents CalSTRS or CalPERS or one of the big LPs, right? And so you don't want the CalPERS person to hear the truth. The truth is you're looking for unproven teams with unproven products in unproven markets, because I just described Apple and Google and Yahoo and Cisco. That's what they were. Unproven teams, unproven markets, unproven technology. Besides that, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So as a venture capitalist, you can't sit on the stage and say, well, we're looking for unproven teams, unproven people, unproven markets, because you're afraid that someone in CalPERS is going to write down, that fund is looking for unproven people. We can't put our money in there. So you say, we're looking for proven people. So now you write down they're looking for proven people, so now you believe you have to prove you're a proven person to get an investment. You're meeting with the wrong VC. You know, if you could talk to someone like Michael Moritz of Sequoia and ask Michael Moritz, what do you look in? And arguably, Michael Moritz is probably the most successful VC in the last 20 years, right? Michael Moritz will tell you, we're looking for 2 guys or 2 gals in a garage or a dorm, engineering students who are trying to build the product that they themselves want to use. Because that describes Google and Apple and Yahoo and YouTube. That's what they want. So when somebody says, come back to us when you have more revenue, come back to us when Kleiner Perkins or Sequoia is leading the round, come back to us when you have a world-class team, they're saying no. They're saying no. Okay? Yes. You want to know how I really feel?
Hi.
But don't forget, during the panel, watch, okay? Somebody asked the question, what do you look for in a team? Watch. Just watch.
Going back to the 12 things you learned from Steve, customers cannot tell you what they need. What was the process of customer development like at Apple that, not surveying people, asking them what they need, but was there a process observing, what they were going to use? And
The process was Steve Jobs said, do this. That was the process. A focus group at Apple is defined as Steve's left hemisphere was connected to his right hemisphere. That was the 2 members of the focus group. His left brain and his right brain were connected by cortical structure. That's it. It was. Now, having said that, I don't necessarily recommend that, you all think you're mini Steve Jobs and you can anticipate the future. But I will tell you that it's very unlikely that you could put together people in a focus group and ask them what they want and you come up with anything useful, because I will tell you, I'll save you the money. They'll tell you better, faster, cheaper, status quo. Whatever you do, if you do better, faster, cheaper, status quo, the focus group will love you. It's that simple. What else? I have to think one last question because I have to go to something that I cannot miss, actually. Yes.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on me now.
Well, where are you?
Over here.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question about point 3, about the biggest challenges be getting the best work. And I know, I've talked to a bunch of people where I live in New York about how, we're frustrated that all these people are just building iPhone apps instead of trying to tackle world-changing problems. And I'm wondering, how are you concerned at all that there seems to be, because it's easier to start a company now, that there are people who are more comfortable solving smaller problems, or what do you think could be done to address that?
I think that as you look back, I don't think that at the time you're starting a company, there's sort of a bifurcation. And some entrepreneurs say, I'm solving big problems. And some entrepreneurs say, I'm solving shitty little problems. So you're saying, well, too many people are solving shitty little problems. It's not going to change the world. The way I think it works is most entrepreneurs start off trying to solve shitty little problems. And lo and behold, they create these enormous successes. So, I don't think that Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or even Steve Case, when they first started their company, they saw this big macro picture. I don't think Bill Gates saw that someday I'll have an operating system business, I'll have an applications business, someday I'll have an Xbox game business, someday I'll have a Bing search business, someday I'll have a MSN business. I think that Bill Gates said, man, I could build an operating system. Well, build is a loose term. Build an operating system for this cool thing called the PC. And Woz said, wow, we could like scan parts of HP, and we could build this board, and this board can like put up a character on this TV. How cool is that? And so you start off with these very humble beginnings, and 25 years later, you have this huge success. That's very different than saying, I don't think Woz and Steve, when they first started out, said, we see the future of personal computing. And this future includes iPhones, iPads, iPods, Macintoshes. So we're starting now, but 25 years from now, that's the future. I think the most relevant question that engineers start a company with is not, what's the future, as much as, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if we could search better? Wouldn't it be cool if instead of having to drive to a computer, you could have one in your house? Wouldn't it be cool if my girlfriend could sell Pez dispensers on the internet? So I started eBay. Total bullshit story, but great story. So, wouldn't it be cool if people could upload copyrighted video and millions of people would watch it? And wouldn't it be cool if people could take video of themselves dropping Mentos into Diet Cokes? So we started YouTube. So I think the salient question is, wouldn't it be cool if? And then if you have a lot of people answering the question, wouldn't it be cool if, some of them will grow into mighty redwood forest trees. Many of them will die. Some people will create sort of Christmas tree height. But some people will create Apples and Ciscos and Yahoos. But at the time you're planting the seed, nobody knows. I mean, like venture capitalists like to be able to say, yeah, we knew that company would be successful. They had a proven team. Yeah, right. They had a proven business model. They were in a proven market. So we knew that company would be successful. That's why we invested in it. If you ever encounter that, then ask the VC, well, what about the other 19 investments that you made? How come they failed? And the VC will say, well, I told my partners not to do that. It wasn't me. Go ask the people who funded WebVan. WebVan is a very good example. WebVan, proven team, right? Proven market. Everybody has to eat. Proven business model. Imagine the convenience. You could go online and order someone to bring you broccoli. That is a great business model. So proven team, proven business model, proven technology. Build a distribution site, and automatic picker puts the broccoli in your basket, sends it to a van to your house. Everything is perfect about WebVan. Raised $450 million. Where is it today? You should solve small problems. Solve problems, and hope that many people have that small problem. That would be my recommendation. Okay? Thank you very much. Enjoy your conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.